creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Friday, October 19th, 2018, and it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and here with me in our Orlando studios on the ones and twos, our illustrious engineer, my brother, Chandler Strang.
Hello.
Next to him is Mark, who's trying to get the video stuff up and running. I think that's gonna kick off in a week or so. Not these podcasts, but I think the next ones. You guys are gonna get video highlights from the show. On the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, Tennessee, Tyler Huckabee.
Hey, everybody.
And down the road, author, speaker, podcaster, aspiring cowgirl, Annie F. Downs.
Good morning, gents.
It's true. I mean, you're not in San Antonio anymore,
good.
but I mean,
I like it so much, Cameron.
It's going to stick, just like Loverland. People actually ask me still, it's been, 12 years we've been doing this show?
Yeah.
Ask me, like, where is Loverland, Virginia? Is that a small town that Jesse lives in? And I was like, I don't know. Back in like 2006, like I randomly, Virginia's for lovers.
Yeah.
I just like, it's a land of lovers. It's Loverland, Virginia. And it just stuck because I'm a repetitive.
And people think I'm actually from there. Like, you know, like they'll want to like, I get like sent a lot of stuff in the mail from like, you know, book publishers and press people, and they're like, "Oh, we listen to the podcast. What's the zip code there in Loverland?" I'm like, no. I will say this though, it's made me reflect a lot on Virginia's slogan, "Virginia's for lovers," and it's just creepy at this point. Like, no one wants to. No one wants to pull in.
At some point, it crossed over.
I'd say like initially you're like, okay, I guess that's a little charming, but like, lover is a really creepy way to refer to someone. like if you were to like, hey, this is my boyfriend, or this is my wife, this is my, if someone were to say, hello, this is so-and-so, my lover, it's immediately the most creepy relationship possible. And when you pull
Will
across
Ferrell skit, right?
Yeah,
when
exactly.
they're all in the hot tub.
When you pull across the state border and people and cars driving by, you're like, those two are lovers. They're lovers. This whole state is inhabited by weird creeps. That's what Virginia is for lovers is. They didn't think about that. But if anyone ever introduces you to their lover, that's a huge red flag that person's a creepball.
I was listening to NPR on the way in. Apparently, Virginia is inhabited by two types of people: lovers and opioid addicts. It's a huge problem in Virginia.
Both. You can be both in 2018.
Why you
There's no reason to pick.
That's not a spectrum.
I don't. I don't really have anything to say to that without making light of the nation's crippling addiction to prescription painkillers.
Does a lover always make you think a little bit like, oh, this is illicit? Like this is not. This is like an affair.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like Virginia's for romance or something.
Right.
Romance has like a timeless charm to it. Like, oh, let's do something romantic.
Paris at sunset. Yeah. Romance.
Like if you say to your significant other, let's do something romantic, they're like, oh, that's like a candlelight dinner. And if you say, let's do something as lovers, that's creepy. You're a weirdo at that point. Like you're like a weird guy.
It's creepy if you say that to a stranger. If you say that to your person, that's great.
Either way,
I mean,
it's
if
still
you're
creepy.
married, it's okay.
Yeah, but even then, it's like, why are you talking like a weirdo? Like, that's the kind of thing that dudes who wear bathrobes most of the time at home say. Like, they're just like, if someone
that guy sounds rich. I'm not hating it so far. Keep going. Keep describing.
No, he sounds rich, but it's weird. Like, if you wear a bathrobe, other than the following times, one is at a hotel and they got like a nice free fluffy one on the back of the door, even though that's a little skeezy because you don't know whose body that robe has been draped on.
Yeah, but it's wonderful. It's one of the perks of staying at a good hotel.
It is.
I wear every robe at every hotel I stay at.
I immediately open the closet and look for the robe.
That's
if there's a robe, I like it. I'm in and I get in the robe.
Same.
Like, in the I would say 30 to 45 minutes window after like showering, right? Maybe you're drying your hair or something. I don't know. That's robe time. That's fine. Or if you had the flu. If you had the flu, robe's all good. Outside of those windows, if you wear a robe, you're probably pretty creepy. Can we agree with that?
Actually, that's a good assessment.
It's a good rule.
I'm mad how much I agree with you, Jesse. That's how right you are.
Like if you just went over a friend's house, they're like, hey, what's up? Come on in. And they're wearing a robe. You're like, Yeah, I'm on To Catch a Predator here. I'm waiting for Chris Hansen. I'm waiting for Chris Hansen to jump out, weirdo.
They use them in movies too much. Like they're so like in movies during the breakfast scene, the like dad's getting ready for work and the mom's still in the robe and everything. This is two unrealistic things that happen during the movie scene at breakfast. One, the mom in the robe. Two, she makes this huge breakfast. She sets out all like, there's like donuts and there's coffee and there's toast and there's eggs. And the husband's like, too late, honey. I gotta be to work. He grabs the toast, takes a single bite, puts it back down, and heads out the door. This happens in a lot of movies, and your wife would
newspaper
murder
under
you.
the arm. Yeah,
and like you can't take toast with you. Toast is a very easy to travel 4-bite breakfast.
This is a transportable. Take the whole piece of toast and eat it in the car, you idiot.
Yeah, I just made a 4-course brunch out here. I worked so hard on this, I didn't even have time to change out of the robe. I risked looking like a creep to make this brunch.
And burning yourself.
You're going to take one bite of toast when I have 3 different kinds of breakfast meats that I've, had on the skillet. What a jerk.
Or even worse, so just say it's like something like, oh, just time for juice this morning, honey. Just time for juice. Eat some breakfast. If you have the entire spread, the entire brunch.
I'd be a big grump.
I mean, I'm telling you, I'm people I work with make sure that I eat every meal. I mean, if it's around 2:00, I will get a text from somebody on staff. Have you eaten? Like just.
Wow. You have a staff full of babysitters.
I do want to. I'm enjoying robe talk, but I have something that I need to talk about real quick before we jump into the show.
Came in so hot today, by the way. Everyone is so lit.
It's because my wife my lover made me a 6-course brunch this morning.
But you only had time for a few bites of toast.
Do I not sound like a super weirdo creep by saying that?
That's true. You do.
Okay.
Sounds like Dana has too much time on her hands is how it sounds.
Before you get into your thing, let me tell people what's coming up later, okay? In case the robe hot takes isn't grabbing them, I'm going to tell them what to stay tuned for, all right? Coming up later in the show, we have in case you missed it, it's our Friday show. We give you the recaps of what happened this week. And then also, Christon Gray joins us. His new album, Clear the Air, Heir, drops today. It's timely. Christon Gray is joining us.
Oh, you know what's cool about that? I put this in the bio, so they're going to hear it twice. But this is his. He got signed to Kirk Franklin's RCA imprint. Like
that's a big deal.
He partner. That is a big deal. So it's very cool. It's coming out today. First album on that new label. So
yeah, there you go.
Very cool.
All right, what's your thing? What did you have to get off your chest?
I'm so ready.
We're going to Cameron and I, as people know, they're going to be hearing this on Friday. In the coming days after, like I think we leave on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening.
Yeah, the 23rd, this coming Tuesday, when the new podcast comes out, Jesse and I will be on planes on our way to Space Camp.
It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. It's crazy.
It is unbelievable. Nat Geo has a new show coming out about
season 2.
Mars.
No. It's the season 2 of their Mars series that we.
I should say new episodes of their series about Mars. Mars is hot right now. Everyone's talking about Mars. We got a rover up there. So we're gonna go to Space Camp, get the whole experience, and get some insight about Mars. But we get an email last night. And it says, hey, guys, by the end of the day tomorrow.
Read the subject line. Attention, Nat Geo Mars space campers.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
And then it says, ready to launch. Please read.
Space campers.
First off,
campers.
Cameron, this is a lifelong dream of him. For me, I have never thought twice about it. I told Cameron this in a meeting yesterday.
You're going to be the bully. I
have like one of those big calendars, you know what I mean? That, has the whole month on it. And my wife writes all of our travel stuff on it. And it's all in the kitchen, like on display. And there's like a stretch next week where it says Jesse Space Camp over like 4 days of the week. I had friends over the weekend, and I saw them looking at it, and I was embarrassed. Like I was like, "Oh gosh, I'm a Space Camp guy." But we get this email last night, and it said, "I'm going to paraphrase here, but they essentially said, hey, by the end of the day tomorrow, we need to know if you guys are down for the scuba experience."
Oh, wow.
And so I don't know. There's no details about the scuba. They're like, we need to know your scuba suit size.
That's all you know is scuba experience.
I texted Cameron. I was like, we're not doing the scuba thing, right?
What?
Cameron.
I said, absolutely.
Cameron.
I said, I haven't seen the email yet, But if there's a scuba experience, of course we're doing the scuba experience.
Of course.
It's
Thank
the closest
you.
to
Thanks for
weightless.
being an Enneagram 7 about this. There's no way. How would you say no to that, Jesse? It's a free scuba experience at Space
It said if you
Camp.
don't do the scuba experience, it will be a free evening at a bar/pub across the street, which in my mind is probably a Chili's.
Oh.
It's probably a Chili's. So I'm
probably a
either going to
Chili's, yeah.
go,
You're
I'm
right.
going to go, drop the Relevant podcast name at a Chili's or do the scuba experience. But here's what I texted Cameron. I've never trusted scuba. I trust nothing about scuba.
Why?
I don't want my life dependent on hoses, tanks, and valves. I don't trust any of those things. Like, you're underwater, one valve goes, guess what? Dead. Because you wanted a scuba experience. Your life is on the line every time you toy with scuba. I just don't trust it.
You're not right. And B, why you have to do this? Because something about it is going to make it feel like space. You got to do it.
Cameron, so you're 100% in on scuba.
Dude,
Cameron, be 100% in.
The email says day 1 of Space Camp. They're not going to tell us the details. Just know that it's a full experience. They don't want to ruin the surprise.
Yeah,
okay?
you know what? That means we have like a bag overhead. They drive us to a van out in the middle of nowhere and like march us into like a warehouse where there's a bunch of weird space stuff to disorient us.
I never went to Space Camp. I don't know what I'm talking about here at all, but I feel very safe in saying that the scuba experience is not going to be the only time that your life is in the hands of technology, like gear.
Yes.
It's very analog gear. It's not like I'm depending on a self-driving Tesla here. It's hoses, valves, and tanks. Very primitive.
But imagine,
gases.
I mean, if you're out on a spacewalk, you're going to have to like trust the equipment that you're using to keep you alive. That's how we are in the school. We are experiencing the fear and the trust. It's a part of the training that the astronauts have to go through,
Oh
Jesse.
my gosh.
I'm very
Space nerd talk.
Yeah.
I'm
Space
so
nerd
excited.
talk.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, but it makes me nervous that they're like, because they said this email will kind of outline some of the agenda, and all it says is there's no agenda except we need your scuba size.
You've got to do it,
scuba.
Jesse.
I didn't know scuba was involved with this. Are there seas on Mars that we don't know about? Why are we scubaing?
Can I be real with you, Jesse? 5 years ago, I went through a divorce. Okay. And it was a tough season.
Let's get real.
It was a tough season. And that summer, when I was newly separated, I was invited out to Bob Goff's house in British Columbia. And there was a group of people, and we were told to come or invited to come, and we didn't know who else was coming, and we didn't know what the agenda was. We just knew that Bob was inviting us. I'd never met Bob, but I was in a season of my life where I was like, why not? Right? So I show up. That's where I met Shauna Niequist. That's where I met some of the people who are now some of my closest friends. For the next few days, Bob
he also got to breathe air the whole time, Jesse, without any tubes. And so I get...
So, no. Hold on, I'm not done.
Yeah.
So during the 3 days that we were there, we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know what was the agenda. And Bob kind of made it seem that there was no program or agenda. But if you look back, Bob had an intentionality to everything. There was this process of over the days of learning to let go and to just be free and like embrace new things. And really, I walked away from that experience. What ingrained in me and changed my life forever was say yes. Say yes. Wow. When Bob says, hey, do you wanna fill in the blank? You say yes, because there's an intentional...
to Bob. I mean, to Bob, of course you do.
But like we found ourselves
was
like
Bob wearing scuba gear and said, I'm going to teach you what it's like on Mars. Jump in.
Dude, they're like we're jumping off of cliffs and we're like doing things that we're scary and like whatever. And it's formative and changed our lives. I'm just saying, Jesse, be like Bob and say yes. Do the scuba.
Actually, Cameron wants you to be like Cameron and say yes.
Well, Bob taught me how to be
I'm
like
reluctantly
Bob.
going to agree to scuba. But
Yes.
if I never return to this pod, people remember this conversation and be like, you know what? Jesse didn't trust his life to valves and hoses. And guess what? It's now the Annie and Tyler show because we lost Cameron and Jesse to a dramatic scuba. They were partners down there. Don't you have to have safety partners down there?
I mean, how deep do you think you are going? They're not putting you in the ocean, Jesse. They're probably putting you in a pool.
Annie, we have no idea where they're taking us.
Jesse, haven't you watched old NASA
Jesse
videos.
died doing what Cameron loves.
Jesse died in a sheer panic at the,
Unable to even say I told you so.
Think about his lover and all
about
those
his
big
lover,
breakfasts he will
too.
now miss.
Jesse, that's my bigger concern. I'm not concerned about the valves not working for you. I'm concerned that you might have a little bit of a panic attack down there when your life
Do I get a scuba knife? Because that's the only cool part of scuba.
Jesse,
You get that little
literally, you're going to be in a pool with all of us standing around the pool watching. It's like taking infant swim lessons at the YMCA.
Wait, do you
We're all
actually
gonna
know
be-
what's going to happen?
Yeah. Hey, Cameron, have you looked in the eyes of those infants? They're terrified the whole time. It's all fun for everyone except the infants who have no idea what's going on. That's all I'm saying. We're the infants in this scenario.
You're not going to be like, this isn't like Abyss where you're going to be miles below the surface
You
of the
don't
ocean.
know,
either.
Tyler.
No.
Why would they might have a big hole in the middle of Alabama that's filled.
Jesse, we're going to be in Huntsville, Alabama. You're going to be in an indoor pool, probably at the Y. I mean, it's all fine. You're going to be good. You're just going to kind of float a little bit.
Probably at the Y. I would imagine that NASA has their own swimming pool.
Yeah, I would think so. That's true.
I don't think this is summer camp where they're putting you on a bus and taking you to the YMCA.
It's
for
like an
swimming.
above ground pool. It's an above ground pool out in the suburbs, which is like the nicest thing in Alabama.
I mean, I wonder if scuba is the only way to give y'all zero gravity experience. Is that a thing?
Yeah, because the only other, there's the gyro things and G forces and all that, but the
I'm
only
fine
other way
for
to
those.
achieve
I'm fine for those.
Jesse, I think,
weightlessness.
don't you, forgive me if I'm remembering this incorrectly, but don't you have a bit of a weak stomach when it comes to that kind of stuff?
Yep.
I will be fine. And if not,
Cameron said,
then-
yep.
Jesse, you really do need to bring a lot of Dramamine. Just
Yeah, because I
prepared.
think those spinny
the
things.
more we talk about Space Camp, the less I'm excited, the more anxiety I'm having about it.
But they're taking us because we are going to experience what the future astronauts who are going to colonize Mars are going to experience, Jesse. This is what your future descendants are going to have to go through.
I know. The future of humanity depends on us being able to complete this
Depends
scuba
on you
experience.
having a scuba knife.
If we can't survive a scuba experience, humanity is doomed because we're definitely not going to Mars.
I got the Ryan Gosling First Man movie over the weekend, and based on that, I have a pretty good understanding, I think, of what you guys are walking into. Jesse, you can rest assured that the technology you're going to be using is roughly the equivalent of like a Game Boy.
Yeah.
A Texas Instruments calculator.
An analog dishwasher of what? Yeah,
Jesse, my biggest concern is you had a real heart to go in there like the bully, and nobody feels bullied by the guy who's scared to scuba and is puking
That's
every
a
day.
good point.
I know, because the bully skips scuba and goes over to Chili's is what happens.
I'm just saying, you better bring a lot of Dramamine.
Hey, you know what? He steals the scuba knife just because that's the cool part. He's cutting his steak. He's cutting
With
his
his-
steak at Chili's with a scuba knife
His
that he stole from the
quesadilla?
pool nerds. Yeah, from the pool nerds. Would you like silverware, sir? No, thanks. I
Brought my own
got a scuba knife here.
Okay. Speaking of the Bob Goff, and another lesson you need to learn this next
Yeah.
week, Jesse, of embracing. So, my son Cohen, he's 8. He's turning 9 in a few weeks, and he was sent the book "Love Does for Kids."
Oh, I
by
saw
Bob.
this.
And he inhaled it. I mean, he read it over
Is
the
it a
course of like
chapter
3
book?
days.
Cameron, in my head, I thought it was a picture book, but it's a chapter book?
No. Absolutely.
That's
it's
so cool.
It's a chapter book. It was a lot of words. Like, Dad, there's like 200 words on each page.
Oh.
And he like inhaled it and
Sweetness.
like loved it. We've been talking about it a lot. And here's how I know it impacted him. Okay. So my house is under construction right now. We don't have a kitchen. We don't have, it's just, it's a mess, right? So I can't cook. It's really tough to parent when you don't have a pantry or anything for your kid. So last night we get dinner delivered and we eat outside. We're in the backyard.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. It was sunset, lovely weather this time of year. And, we end up just like watering the flowers and we're putting around and then we're just kind of having fun. He gets wet and the hose and he ends up jumping in the pool. And then we just had this whole kind of unexpected evening together and it was a lot of fun. We're going to bed late at night or we're talking. And every night before we pray, I always ask him, what's something from today you're thankful for, And he's usually like, oh, that we got to go to Target or blah, blah, blah. Yeah. He said last night, this is the truth. And this is the impact of Bob's book on him. He goes, well, Dad, I'm thankful it's Monday, which means I can't play video games until the weekend. And because that's the rule, Monday through Thursday, no video games. And I said, really? You're thankful for that? Why? And he goes, well, Dad, I've learned that when I don't play video games, I better engage the world around me.
You're lying to me. He said that.
I promise you, he said that last night.
That's adorable.
I mean, that is Bob. I mean, that is absolutely like, go have adventures and engage the world around you. Jesse, I'm telling you, you needed to read Love Does for Kids.
I will read.
I did not know that's where this was going.
I will read Love Does for Kids. And, I'm very thankful for Love Does and Love Does for Kids. The one thing that...
Before we go to space camp, you need to have the mindset of, I'm going to shut off what I normally would do and embrace, and I need to engage the world around me and say yes to the scuba experience and all of the space nerd things.
I will say this. Love Does is a powerful book. It's a powerful franchise for this, but I have one beef with it. I was right in the middle of my book, Lovers Do. And I found out that Love Does is coming out, and I could obviously, I'm not going to release Lovers Do.
Lovers Do, the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia. It's the
creepiest book,
the creepiest book ever. Lovers Do.
Well, hey, Jesse, next week in Huntsville, Alabama, you need to live the life that lovers do, and you need to embrace. You need to embrace things you normally wouldn't embrace. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, I'll probably scuba. I'll give them my size today.
You have to. Yeah. How do you know? Is this an inappropriate question? How do y'all know your scuba size? How would I would know how to
are
tell
you
them?
Are you a small, medium, or large? I think is the basic question.
Yeah.
You can't be wrong on that though. You can't. This isn't like
the stakes are too high for me to guess.
The stakes are really high.
Overestimate. It'll suck to you like waders. It's fine. Just get a bigger one if you're unsure.
It'll fill with water and drag you down and make your tank slide off
to the bottom of the YMCA pool.
Yeah, while I'm falling to the bottom of the pool, wildly flailing my scuba knife.
That's right. That's right.
Well, moving the show along, it is time for our weekly look back at what happened in culture and entertainment. It's time for In Case You Missed It. Hey, in case you missed it, this week, Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert might show up to a random church and serve mass. The Tonight Show host was a guest on the recent New Yorker Festival, where he opened up about his faith background. Fallon, who grew up wanting to become a Catholic priest, revealed that his show recently came really close to getting the Pope to be a guest. And like Late Show host Stephen Colbert, he served as an altar boy when he was young. He then revealed that he and Stephen have been planning on visiting a church together. He said, we actually talked about showing up to a random mass around the city and just reliving our altar boy days and serving mass one day. We might still do it. He previously told Terry Gross about growing up in the church. He said, I just loved the church. I loved the idea of it. I loved the smell of the incense. I loved the feeling you get when you left church. I loved how this priest can make people feel this good. I just thought I loved the whole idea of it. My grandfather was very religious, so I used to go to mass with him at like 6:45 in the morning and serve mass. I thought I had the calling. There you go. Well, he's still doing a thing to make people feel good, I guess. Yeah. And I've heard, I haven't been to a taping, but I've heard that the Late Show set, the incense is very powerful. The smell, it smells great.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I mean, they do communion, right before the roots come out. It would have been cool if the Pope was on the show. Like, I would love to see the Pope on like a Late Show or a Tonight Show, but
I would not like to see Jimmy Fallon interviewing the Pope. Like, have Colbert interview the Pope.
Again, I would like to see him on Colbert because no one wants to see the Pope play beer pong or like slap big hands with Jimmy Fallon. Like that's like unsettling.
Egg game where he cracks it on his head. No way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't watch it. I'm saying it would. I don't think it'd be a good
I feel
thing.
Weird.
It'd be great TV. I'd feel weird about it.
Yeah.
Well, in case you missed it, this week, Young Sheldon, the show on CBS, featured another pretty compelling discussion about faith and doubt. So the mother on CBS's Big Bang Theory prequel is a Christian, and in a recent episode, she experiences a crisis of faith. Even though her son is an atheist, young Sheldon, he makes a very thoughtful case for the existence of God. Here's a clip.
Did you know that if gravity were slightly more powerful, the universe would collapse into a ball?
I did not.
Also, if gravity were slightly less powerful, the universe would fly apart and there'd be no stars or planets.
Where are you going with this, Sheldon?
It's just that gravity is precisely as strong as it needs to be. And if the ratio of the electromagnetic force to the strong force wasn't 1%, life wouldn't exist. What are the odds that would happen all by itself?
Why are you trying to convince me to believe in God? You don't believe in God.
I don't, but the precision of the universe at least makes it logical to conclude there's a creator.
Baby, I appreciate what you're trying to do. But logic is here. And my problem is here.
She's pointing to her heart.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Well, there are 5 billion people on this planet, and you're the perfect mom for me.
What is she pointing to her
odds of
knee?
that?
I'm having some knee problems.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Who's writing the show? Because whoever is writing the
I don't know,
show,
because they follow that. Like
knows.
she prays. She like prays. After
Yeah,
there's
that,
got to
like,
be a faith person in the background writing that show.
Well,
You
just
can't
because
make up
the
that stuff.
terminology is right. I mean, like there was another episode where like a storm was threatening the family's house, and she prayed, and she's like, "In the name of Jesus, I place a hedge of protection
Right.
around this house and my family." Absolutely, a Christian wrote that.
Yeah.
line. I mean,
well,
there's
the
no
other
way.
thing too is like I was sort of like obvious. Cameron, you and I talked about this recently about like CBS sitcoms about how like
They're
like
terrible.
King, but except
But they're
King
so
of Queens,
popular, right?
but except for they like King of Queens. Like
King of Queens, man.
In retrospect, you can watch it now and it's really funny.
Jesse and I traveled. I don't know, where were we? I don't know. We were together.
Catalyst, I think we're in
Catalyst in
Atlanta.
Atlanta. That's right. We were in a hotel room, and for some reason in the morning there was a marathon of King of Queens.
Yeah.
And
Really?
I found myself watching it, a lot lately for some reason. And, it came on, I put it on. And it's just like, I don't laugh out loud at television or movies. I don't like respond audibly. I mean, I'll smile or I'll enjoy it. I'll think it's funny, but I just don't like guffaw.
That's been hard for me because you don't laugh out loud at my jokes a lot either, but go ahead.
I laugh out loud at Kevin James.
It's
He
really
is-
fun.
It holds
he's
up,
very
and the thing is like if you watch the show and break it down, it's not just like slapstick. It is like well written.
Yeah.
It didn't like hit one note and just kind of stay there. I mean, the show kept evolving, but there are scenes where he does his physical humor, and like Jesse and I were watching, I'm going like, in the writer's room, how did they write what's happening right now? Because it's like a solid 2 minutes of the show, no dialogue, and you're roaring with laughter, and like, how did you even write this? Like,
Yeah.
he is a comedic genius. I'm just saying, Kevin James.
The father-in-law is what gets me on that show.
It is,
Yeah.
but and my greater point is this too. Like CBS gets a rap for their sitcoms, rightfully so. A lot of them are just awful. But like in like researching for this, I like watch a couple, and I've only seen
Full episodes,
like,
Jesse? You watched a couple
I
of real
didn't watch full episodes, but I watched a couple clips. I was like, I don't know, like a lot of like popular shows, there's an air of like cynicism or irony. And I was like, I'm kind of surprised at how like sincere this show is. And even that scene, it's like, that's like it's a little corny, but it's like a tender moment that isn't played for laughs or irony, which is like, oh, that's kind of interesting, I'm not saying it's a great show.
Gravity to being put in the right family. I mean, that is like some really beautiful writing.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's just interesting that exists on a show that's a prequel to like a sitcom that's basically a punchline,
Speaking of beautiful writing, Remember God is out. It's been out for like 2 weeks,
Right.
and I have started it, and it's phenomenal, Annie. And I can't believe that you put out there that you're going to get married this year.
Shut up. I didn't. I guess I did on the show, but I didn't put that in the book.
Oh yeah, it's documented for permanent, isn't it? Everybody should read it. It's right there in the forward. No. How's that going, by the way?
The getting married or the book?
Yeah, no, both.
Let's mainly talk about the book.
Okay.
It's been good. People have been really sweet. You know what's been interesting is this has never happened before with any of my other books, but people are mailing me letters, like 4 and 5 page handwritten letters. It makes me cry every day because I'm more than a handful of books in, and never in my life have I had people, and all of them start the same, y'all. They all start with like, I've never done this before. I've never written. This is so weird to write a letter to an author. I mean, they all start with like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I decided I wanted to write you a letter.
Is the return address a correctional institution?
No, that's the marriage part. That's part 2 of the conversation.
Okay. Just wondering.
like the 3 or 4 times a year that I sign, like write a greeting card, I always think the same thing. My handwriting is terrible. Like I should really work on my penmanship because I only use it. The only scenarios I write is sometimes I'll like jot notes that only I see, so it doesn't matter. But the only time that I'll write something that other people see, I'm automatically embarrassed. It's greeting cards. I'm like, this penmanship is awful. It's like I haven't practiced this at all for like 10 years,
But you haven't.
It's exactly.
Yeah.
It's very true.
When I write notes on the birthday cards and stuff like that, like by the time I get, like my cursive is so exhausted by the time I get to the end of that 2-sentence blurb, my name is usually a C and just a scribble.
Yeah.
Is
Cohen learning cursive at school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They took it out of public school curriculum, I heard, but his private school is teaching cursive this year.
Well, Cameron, if I'm at the bottom of the pool and I'm writing the words help with the scuba knife into the water,
right?
You probably won't be able to read it because
you won't be able to read it. But what he is saying is help me.
Yeah, help me. And
funny.
it looks like I'm just stabbing. It looks like I'm just stabbing wildly, but I'm writing help me in cursive under the
You know what's crazy is like, it doesn't take much for us to send one handwritten thing a day, right? Like writing a note to somebody once a day. Like that's not a huge time waste.
The postage. Can I be honest with you guys? I'm not even entirely sure how postage works.
This episode brought to you by Stamps.com.
People still doing stamps?
Last night I was paying bills and I was going through all the mail and everything, and I got my ballot to vote. Yeah, they mail, and I don't know if they do it where you are, but they do in Florida. You know, you can get the ballot, and you have the option of just voting there and just mailing it back, and it's prepaid postage. Fine, great. So I was like filling out my voting because it's very important that everybody votes in the midterm elections. FYI. Sure. It's very important. It's coming up in like a week after this podcast. So
it's almost time.
So I'm filling out my thing. Jesse, here's my conundrum: is I didn't need postage. I mean, I would never go down there and buy a stamp. I mean, so it's prepaid, no problem. I have one of those door slot old school things, where like they dump the mail into my foyer.
Yeah.
How do I send it back?
Oh, you don't. Yeah, you don't have like you can't dump it back out there.
No.
Yeah,
what do I just leave it on the ground and hope the mailman sees it?
There's a lot of things about our postal system.
Can you just
I'm just unclear about.
Can you just slide it can you just like grab it with the door? Can you just put your envelope and grab it with the door?
But I have like workers coming in and out of my house all day.
Drop it in there.
Yeah, bring it to work. Do y'all have a mailbox at work?
I don't know. I'm assuming we
That's
do.
That's the thing. Like when you really dig into the postal system, dig into it,
it's not like I see a postman coming to the office every day. I don't know what's going on. I mean, we get UPS.
The whole voting system is very complicated. Like, you got to show up, you got to register, you got to show your ID, you got to go to the little wait in line, you got to do the little iPad booth. They need to do it like they did in democracy's early days, where the whole town gathers in a room and it's like,
and raise your hand.
You vote and you just go, aye! And it's whatever group yells the loudest, aye or nay, that's how we decide things.
So that's like, and I mean, this is for real. This is what the Electoral College is, right? The town would gather, and then a representative of the town would go to the state and say, "This is what our town voted for."
Then there's a duel. And then I'm trying to remember all the steps here. There's a duel.
And then what,
there
Jesse?
is they go and they burn these things, and if the smoke is brown or gray, they have to go one way. There's a lot of steps. It's very complex.
You should know up there in Virginia, you can just go to what's it called? Jamestown and what's the other one?
The old timey one.
Colonial Williamsburg.
Yeah, Colonial Williamsburg. You can go vote there. I love that place.
Yeah,
that
place is crawling. Those places are crawling with redcoats. If they find out you're voting for this for a government of the colonies, they take it real serious.
My mom bought an actual outfit there. Last time we went, she bought like a colonial dress. It was awesome.
Did she pose for the cover of a Christian romance novel?
She should.
Dude, I live in a neighborhood called Thorogood here in Loverland, and there's like a house in the neighborhood that was like built in like 1600s. It's like a museum now. It's called the Thorogood House. I mean, it's like right down the street. There's like reenactors hanging out there all the time, like for school kids. Yeah, in the neighborhood. Literally, there's one in the neighborhood. I will jog by there sometimes or ride my bike, and I'm always tempted to go mess with the reenactors.
And somebody's out there churning butter or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right there down the street. Is it
a convincing reenactment? Like do you feel like you're on the set of a movie, or you walk through a portal in time?
Jesse.
It depends. It depends. Like there's some slackers that work there. There are some slackers that work there.
If you're gonna go, you really got to pull
that. They just opened the newspaper and looked at the classifieds. They're like, oh, cool. They're hiring a butter churner over at the Thorogood House. Why not? Times are tough. I'm realizing all three of us live in
cities that have a peculiar other side. I mean, like Nashville has the cheesy country music stuff and honky donkey stuff, and Jesse's got the colonial thing, and I've got the theme parks and stuff. We don't live in normal cities, the three of us.
Not at all. Not at all.
I think he means the four of us. I don't know which me or Tyler he's cutting out of this story.
I was talking about you, Annie. Tyler's dead to me.
And, one of us live in a state, covered with robe wearing lover creep balls. So, I mean, a lot of weirdos out here.
We kind of have two though, because we have the honky tonk, like country music industry, and then the Christian music industry, which is like everybody who's also kind of a youth pastor is either going to be or already was or
a
is
worship leader at their church.
That whole thing, and there's a little bit of overlap. The Venn diagram.
The overlap is Brentwood. The overlap is there's a city between Nashville and Franklin.
Is there like a old like like there's a farm or a retirement community where like old CCM stars kind of gather there? Because I feel like they all retire in Nashville.
It's called Creation Fest, and they all hang out. And
they go back there, like the salmon going back to their birthplace. They return to Creation.
No, it's called the Newsboys. They all just they go and join the Nowsboys. There's like 50. That band's 50 people deep, and they all were in different bands. That's their
You're not allowed to retire. The Big Bone Small Bone won't let you retire unless you accomplish 3 tasks, all of which are joining the Newsboys.
Is it like that Heisman house where all the Heisman guys live in the same house? Is it a similar experience?
Yeah, exactly. As they would have us believe, like all the Heisman guys, once you give winning a Heisman trophy seems like a very prestigious thing. So you're really under house arrest with with
Herschel Walker and Tim Tebow forever.
Yeah, exactly. I got to live with Johnny Manziel in a frat house forever. I can't leave. They're imprisoned in the Heisman house.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. Hey, in case you missed it, this week, Lauren Daigle led worship at a maximum security prison.
Well, that's a typo. She actually led worship at the Heisman house. They are in prison there. So she did a worship conference for all the Heisman Trophy winners. It's pretty cool.
If we gave awards for the quickest joke of the whole year, you would win that one for sure. Go ahead, Cameron. That was
Jesse's
great.
been sitting on it.
The Stateville Correctional Prison in Illinois currently houses more than 3,500 inmates, and they did a letter writing campaign to Annie about her new book. Because that's what they do. They write letters. They can't send emails. And Lauren visited this week with a full worship team for a special service. In a Facebook post about it, she wrote, "We sang songs with inmates whose voices carried deeper in our hearts than the echo of a microphone will ever release. I saw hope in the face of the hopeless, joy in the wake of sorrow, wealth in the gap of depravity, and life in the midst of death. These people have stories and they also have souls. I watched heaven befriend those who are often forgotten." It's amazing. So cool.
That's beautiful.
So cool. Yeah, I love when they do that.
Why, Tyler?
When they do that, like what, Johnny Cash?
Because I think we tend to, like in this country, in so many ways, we treat the incarcerated really poorly, the formerly incarcerated really poorly. We tend to ignore them, like we were saying, they can't vote, like we were just discussing. And then the broad assumption is that if you're in there, you're just kind of forgotten, and it's such a travesty. How often we, as other people have said before, this isn't original to me, but how we define people by the worst thing they've ever done. So anytime that an artist or that somebody who's in the creative industry is willing to go and bring their art to these people is, I think, something that's really inspiring, and I hope could kind of filter down to the rest of us to keeping them in our, making sure that their livelihood is still part of how we take in the collective we of the country.
Yeah. There's a lot of authors, like Bianca Olthoff does the same, and so many authors donate piles of books to prisons, and I just think it is a ministry not to be forgotten, I think.
Yeah, it's really important.
There's a ballot initiative in Florida that I voted on last night about restoring the voting rights to former convicts and stuff.
I think it'd be a good thing.
Of course, it would be a good thing.
Now, the trick is, I don't know how to get this thing delivered anywhere. So
let's worry about restoring Cameron's voting rights before we move on to
Cameron. He just poked his head out the window and yelled, "Aye!" on the voting rights. Aye!
I mean, I'm being having a holistic viewpoint on being pro-life. You're about life and human dignity, and it doesn't make any sense to me from a an ethical and a Jesus standpoint that like after somebody who was incarcerated, paid their debt, was rehabilitated, wouldn't have their rights restored. They did what they had to do to pay for whatever mistake they made. And why can't they start over? After that? It just doesn't even make sense to me logically, let alone as a Christian.
And it kind of compounds the issue then, because these people then never have a voice, and there's not a whole lot of people out there who can vote who really consider the voting rights of the incarcerated to be a really big, important part of their like platform or their politics or anything like that. So they effectively remain people without a real voice in a democracy, and I think that's too bad.
I mean, if you want to peel back the layers of the onion, I mean, voter suppression is a way that the powerful stay in power and squelch the voice of people who are different, minorities and, impoverished communities and stuff. A lot of, especially in the South, a lot of states like put policies in place and the things that make it logistically difficult for certain communities to even get out and vote, which then keeps the power structure in place and stuff. And so I think, obviously voter suppression is a huge issue we need to talk about. But
yeah, for sure. And also like there's an irony with, things like not allowing, people who have been convicted of felonies to vote because, we call them correctional facilities, and it's supposed to be about rehabilitation when in reality, we don't have a system of restitution and correction. We have a system that's purely built on, punitive punishment with the idea that that's going to be some kind of deterrent, which evidence shows that harsher sentencing a lot of times isn't even an effective deterrent. And they're not, the goal doesn't seem to be, well, let's take someone who's done something wrong and correct them and allow them to go and make sure other people don't make that same mistake by being able to do things like vote and be there's a lot of places that have policies against hiring people who, have, felonies in their backgrounds. And instead of allowing people to actually go and make sure that other people, don't make those mistakes, they just get locked away as if that is the best deterrent for someone else committing that crime when there's increasing evidence showing that isn't the most effective deterrent, Yeah,
of course.
I think it's good I think there's a certain element of posturing for a lot of voters that makes it sound like you're tough on crime. If you advocate for harsher sentencing, that gets people fired up and sounds like you're taking a really strong stance. But that only goes so far. And statistically, like you said, Jesse, it just doesn't seem like it's the case.
It doesn't bear out. Yeah.
It doesn't at all. Okay, and lastly, in case you missed it, Drew Brees gave a moving interview about faith after breaking the all-time passing record last week. The Saints quarterback became the NFL's all-time passing yardage leader, surpassing Peyton Manning for the record. After breaking the record, he ran to the sidelines and embraced his wife and young children. And then after the game, Brees was asked about what he told them. He said, "It's probably what I tell them every night before they go to bed, which is you can accomplish anything in life if you're willing to work for it. Nothing is given. Everything is earned. God has equipped us for great works. I tell them that every night." Drew has been open about his faith, telling Sports Spectrum that hearing a sermon when he was 17 years old changed his life. Here's a clip.
And I was locked in on the pastor as he was sitting there talking about how the Lord was looking for a few good men to carry on his kingdom, to spread his word and to live the life that he had planned for them. And that spoke to me. And it was at that moment that I accepted Jesus Christ into my heart and knew that there was something that was bigger planned for me than just sports.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard him say any of that. That's so cool.
Drew Brees, he not only is he like one of the most I feel like likable dudes in the NFL because I think he's like 39 and he year to year leads the league in passing yards. He's just fun to watch. Like even if you don't like the Saints, even if you don't really care about him personally.
I was about to say, as a Falcons fan over here, you're.
But I will say this: if Drew Brees is playing football on TV, it's really fun to watch because he's a great player. But the other thing too is he means so much to I feel like the city of New Orleans. For people that don't know his story, he had a really bad injury right after he got into the NFL in his shoulder, and they didn't know if he was going to be able to play. And so the Chargers, who had drafted him, ended up choosing to go with Phillip Rivers, another quarterback they had on the roster, and kind of shipping Drew Brees off. He lands in New Orleans the next year. Katrina happens. And, we all remember images from the Superdome where the Saints play. And, in the following year, he comes and wins a Super Bowl in the, and brings a Super Bowl to, his hometown, which was so in need of kind of like a boost. And he's been a huge part of that community. Him and his wife and his church do huge outreaches in New Orleans, and just seems like a really good dude,
Yeah.
And I will say this. He is the quarterback for my fantasy team and has been killing it.
There it is. Okay, there it is.
Killing it.
I knew there was something less than
like 350 yards a game.
All right, well, that'll do it for In Case You Missed It.
Intrinsically good.
Stay tuned. Up next, Christon Gray joins us.
Keep preaching, and I'll keep coming back. If you're gone for good, then I'm okay with that. If you leave the light on, then I'll leave the light on. I am finding out there's a snow in the way, and I'm still dancing at the end of the day. If you leave the light on, then I'll leave the light on.
You're listening to Maggie Rogers. She's back. The song is Light On. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Fern with Are You There?
Well, today's show is brought to you by Samaritan Ministries. Samaritan Ministries is a healthcare sharing ministry with over 250,000 Christians caring for one another's needs, from broken bones to cancer, pregnancies to organ transplants, all without the use of insurance. We're going to do something different this week with our sponsor. We want to tell a story of somebody who's actually doing this. It's a completely revolutionary concept to traditional health insurance. It's healthcare sharing. So Jesse recently talked to cancer survivor and health blogger Courtney Campbell, a wife and mother of 3 whose family has been Samaritan members for 5 years. She told us how Samaritans not only provided for their medical needs, but it's also plugged her family into a passionate community of fellow Christians.
I was really excited to talk to Courtney. It's such a cool thing, and especially how she's been able to connect with so many people through it. Here's part of my conversation with Courtney. Well, tell me a little bit about how you first learned about Samaritan Ministries.
Well, a friend mentioned it to me because we're both kind of in the crunchy realm of, health, and she said to me that, this is a really great option.
Yeah.
And it was just like another confirmation that we were kind of taking this leap of faith of me quitting my job, and that was just an option for us.
Once you kind of discovered Samaritan Ministries, how did it kind of change your lifestyle?
It's a very spiritual experience in that you're not just sending money every month or, your bank account being debited to your health insurance. It's you're sending a very intentional, gift to somebody. You're sending your share to a family with a card, and you know what they're going through, and you're praying for them, and it's just so different. I look forward to who am I sending it to this month, and my kids, they want to know, and it's just such a different experience.
Since you've been with Samaritans, you have pregnancies, there's been childbirths, cancer screenings, broken bones. Tell me a little bit about what it's like to receive support, non-financial support from other members who are praying for you.
Oh, wow. It's the best. I mean, talk about a deepening of your faith just through what other members are saying to you in their cards and in their letters. We have gotten everything from, just a simple Post-it note with some scripture written on it saying, we're praying for you, along with a check, to we had a miscarriage back in January, and one woman knitted me a quilt and sent it to us with just such encouraging scripture and notes. And it's just so different than insurance, but so much better.
Well, this week, rapper Christon Gray drops his new album on Kirk Franklin's RCA imprint, Folio Soul Recordings, which he started that thing in the 90s. I remember covering Folio Soul Recordings when I was covering Christian music back in Nashville.
Oh, wow.
He's been doing it a while. On Clear the Air, his new album, Gray opens up about his faith and also how that intersects with life's more difficult moments. We recently spoke with him, and he walked us through some of the new album's standout tracks. Here is our conversation with Christon Gray.
Shackles to the side, but they found their way back. Not this time. Say, hey, I can't go for that. I'd be lying if I said that the devil made me do it. But the path is the one that leads to ruin.
Well, let's jump into a couple of the tracks. I want to start with Time Out. That's, I feel like that's the one I've seen a lot of people sharing. And that one is like a bold track, like that track's got some like swag to it. Tell me a little bit about how that song came about.
Well, Time Out is kind of like the little brother to a song that I released in 2016 called Stop Me. And Stop Me ended up, God took it. I won't say it ended up. God took it to some amazing places. We've gotten some major sync placements all the way from ESPN to the ESPY Awards to HBO to Fox to Honda, now Madden 19. As soon as you turn the game on, they're playing that song. And we knew that we needed to fill a need, within the industry to give them, heavy, overt Jesus content that's reaching these mainstream platforms. So we made Time Out just as a way of saying, like, regardless of where we are and regardless of what we're dealing with and what we're facing, don't even consider giving up. Like, we're not going to it's not called game over. It's not, it's called Time Out. That's basically to say there are no timeouts in this life. Just keep going. So, the high energy, man, the swag you hear is really just the confidence that I have in the Holy Spirit to kind of bring me through every situation.
Now it seems like you shaking up. Look tough till I caught your bluff. Been exposed, everybody knows, now you gotta go. That's the rules, I ain't make them up. About to lose, yeah, it's too clear. Drop the ball, happy new year. Everybody count down, seconds on the clock now, nothing else to see here. You better call time out.
Well, I want to talk about another song that, I've seen a lot of people sharing, and it's kind of on a different end of the spectrum. It's really personal, is Together Forever. Tell me a little bit about how that came about, because you can really hear you wrestling with things in that one.
Yeah. It's like a hip hop ballad. And when I say we, I talk a lot about my business partner, Christian Gray, who lives in Canada. Shout out to the Six. I'm always in Toronto a lot. But he helped me kind of craft these songs and really approach this topic. Again, coming out of just the ills and the lows of divorce and transitioning through just the difficulty of the music industry in the Christian space. I think that's the hardest industry to be in, is the Christian music industry. Because there's a lot of ego, there's a lot of greed, but then you add faith to it, and it just makes it all the more complicated.
Yeah.
So, Together Forever was my response to everything that I had gone through that I didn't expect to, and basically saying, even if we're not together forever, in regards to my previous marriage, even if we're not together, the people I used to work with, I want this message that we both said that we agreed with, the love of Jesus Christ. I want that to always stay there and keep us together as a family unit for His glory. That's it. You know what I mean? And it was hard to come to that conclusion when you've been hurt and when you've hurt other people. But you hear it in that song, bro. Just more vulnerability, man. I'm just being honest, dude. That's it.
I guess it's time to let the credits roll. Starting over is incredible. The performance of my lifetime, your story isn't like mine. Shedding light on my actions, all the cameras on. In the beginning, it was Christon. You may read the story and think it's fiction. Been a singer and spitter before they ever did it. I make friends, but often stand alone.
Another personal one, that has a real kind of autobiographical, feel is Grow Up. I mean, that delves into different chapters in your story, going back a long way. Tell me, what was your approach to that song and kind of the story behind it?
It's funny because some of the songs that sound very autobiographical they hold some of the truth of my story, but then some of it is just the relatability, again, the relevance that we're trying to display in this album. So Grow Up, right? Like, you hear me talk about being a 6-year-old kid with big glasses, right? That's me.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of themes in that song that are just kind of this made up story of a young kid who's growing up trying to figure out what to do with his ego. And he kind of hear this like annoyed, sort of like scared, failure to admit that he really does want a girlfriend, and then once he finally tries, his ego gets the best of him. He's not doing things God's way. And so he just ends up having to learn things the hard way. And that's just how it is for us, man. Like I didn't have music like this to listen to when I was 13, 14, 15, at least in the Christian space, that helped me deal with how to grow up. And so this is a song that hopefully helps people all over the world understand that you're not alone in that process.
Now schoolie high, she was looking fine and I'm about to make this girl be my Valentine. So I put on my best J's and slide on through. Told her I'ma win the talent show just for you. Every time you dream, I'm the one you see, cause I'm not a wannabe fake celebrity. So let's cut the small talk and grab my hand. And listen to me close so you'll understand that someday I'll be a king and you'll see it soon. Someday you'll hear my songs from June to June. Someday on the stage I'll be as big as Michael Jackson. Better tell me now if you wanna make this happen. Rock the crowd, drop the mic at the talent show. Save a seat, where's she at, man? I don't know. I had to text her cause she didn't even show up. And she wrote back, call me when you grow up.
That was Christon Gray. Stay tuned. Up next, your feedback.
Many things have changed over the past 2,000 years. The good news of Jesus Christ is not one of them. The Ancient Modern Bible gives you the opportunity to encounter the Bible alongside the great voices of the church, past and present, with in-text commentary and biographies from Christian thinkers, including Augustine, Charles Spurgeon, C.S. Lewis, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, Eugene Peterson, and N.T. Wright. Full-color design that uniquely blends modern typography with traditional sacred elements. One faith, handed down for all the saints. The Ancient Modern Bible, available now at ancientmodernbible.com.
You're listening to Joji. The song is Can't Get Over You, featuring Clams Casino. Okay, well, it's time for your feedback. On last Friday's show, the Christine Kane edition, we asked you something. There's an asterisk to this week's editorial question of the week. We asked you, we got to talk about the power team, John Jacobs and the power team. And we asked you last week, what are some of the more unusual evangelistic or gospel outreach things you've experienced or participated in? So here's the asterisk. Somebody pointed out on Twitter, we've asked this question not too long ago when we were talking about clowns. Remember clown outreach and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shoot. That's right.
So we asked this question, but maybe some of y'all didn't hear that episode, and you guys hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and you also posted on the podcast episode page.
And frankly, we were unimpressed with the answers in the cloud. We expect
we had to go
from
back.
Our listeners.
Yeah, we had a double dip.
Tough love.
So here's some of our favorites.
Connie said this, that her favorite, they were called the Convertibles because,
my gosh.
It has a retro theme, but also they're looking for converts. And the Convertibles came to their youth group in the 90s. And here's the thing. They sang 50s songs and shared the gospel. She said it wasn't a big draw, but apparently I was in the target audience because I bought the cassette. I just love that, like, there's a group of, like, really devout Christians who just love 50s music. And they're like, how can we merge these two things?
Yeah.
Like, do we turn the 50s, doo-wop songs into, like, Christian? They're like, no, let's just go to youth group and perform them. Because they're like, or here's the thing. Here's my theory on the Convertibles. They might not even be Christians. They just are like super passionate about doo-wop and they realize they don't have an audience anywhere. Right. And they're like, what if we we'll do we'll preach something after. That way we have a built-in audience at youth groups that have to listen to our doo-wop. It could have gone anywhere.
I think it's like, my thing that the doo-wop thing, like, doesn't really say young people to me. Why didn't they just do that for the main church? I mean, like, as an outreach, that doesn't seem like a youth group thing.
They probably, the pastor probably like saw it or listened to the cassette. He's like, I already told them they could do it, so let's make them do the youth group. Like, they're not ready. They're not ready for Sunday morning. This is like a AAA pitcher. You know what I mean? Like, let's have him pitch middle relief on the farm team before he gets called up to the big leagues. Let's see if the high schoolers boo
That's
them
how
off the
pastors
stage.
are. You got to preach to the youth group for a few years before you get called up to the main stage. It's like the same way.
There's a version of this that's like the movie where at first all the kids are like, doo-wop is bogus, man. We're into rock and roll. But then they start and it's kind of like, This is pretty cute. Like kids start coming in off the streets being like, what's this crazy new tune? And they're all dancing by the end of it. There's a version of that where that happens. I don't think it's probably likely in this case, but I'm going to go with it in my mind.
Do. And people like you see like kids just coming in. They're like, you know what?
Hey,
I renounce my atheism. I renounce my atheism.
What if everybody who converts after they hear it, they convert away from Christianity? What if that's the goal?
I want no part of this. Where is your God now?
Right.
If Jesus can't make doo-wop cool, then he certainly can't save my soul.
They should call us the deconvertibles.
Yeah, the deconvertibles. Did you guys do choir tour when you were in middle school and high school? With your church?
No. What is
I
that?
I did do one actually through a church.
Yeah,
it wasn't actually my church. I was like a refugee. Yeah.
Really? It wasn't even your church, and you went on choir tour.
It makes you sound like you were like, hitchhiking across the state, and like a bus full of a church choir was like, hey, we're missing a baritone. You're like, where are you headed? And you're like, Charlotte, sir. And like, oh, he's perfect. Get him on the bus.
This feels like a choir tour thing. This story, this feedback felt like when people used to go on choir tour. We used to do it where we'd go to churches and do a little performance, and then go to do 3 churches in a drivable distance, and it was
maybe we were the same one, Annie.
A weird subculture.
So
Christian
Annie,
thing.
you sing?
I do.
Multi-hyphenate.
You sing doo-wop?
I mean, in a choir.
What's the difference?
What was your? I don't know the difference between the tenors and the whatever what you have and who's a
sopranos and altos.
And
so in the girl section, Jesse, there's sopranos that sing high and altos that sing medium and low, and I'm more of an alto.
Okay.
You're an alto. Okay.
I love a harmony, you guys. I love a harmony.
What's your favorite song to sing?
Oh my gosh. I don't do like solo-y kind of songs. I don't know. I don't know that I have a favorite song. I love any song that I can find a fun harmony. So any song that has like a good alto part, I'm into it.
Like How Great Thou Art or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
easy.
That's fine.
I'll say this for me, growing up here, the state anthem and for the Christian community, Jesus, lover of my soul.
Oh, yeah,
the creepiest of worship songs. To be sang in a choir of, it's weird here when
it
they
has
have
an excellent alto part, Jesse.
But I will say
much.
this: the weird thing about Jesus, lover of my soul, when they perform it here, they replace the choir robes with bathrobes, and it's very weird. It's very. You got a whole stage full of people in bathrobes singing about
hotels.
Soul lovers. It's
soul lovers.
Very weird. It's very odd.
Okay, so Tim this is from Twitter. He said we had an evangelist on staff who had memorized most of the New Testament, which I think is pretty awesome, actually. But he said from time to time they would be treated to an elderly Southerner quoting all of Luke and doing different, probably cultural insensitive voices.
No.
I think it's one thing to quote the Bible. It's another thing to put particular voices to particular characters. That seems like the wrong next
So
move.
this is like the Simpsons of evangelists. Like, it might have been funny at the time, but we realize it has not aged well, like those accents.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. That's pretty cool, though. I mean, I'm a fan of memorizing scripture. That's some hardcore to have the whole New Testament memorized.
Yeah, I think you could do without the insensitive accents.
Amy Resigi over on the podcast episode page. I love this. She says, when I was in 5th or 6th grade, a traveling youth group came to my church to do a play. Already, we're in bad shape.
Choir tour.
This may have been Annie F. Downs.
A traveling youth group came
what
to
did
do
they say
a
about
play.
that alto in the back row?
The
glorious alto.
The premise was one of those shows within a show with fake commercials and everything. So I'm kind of getting it, like a live television show.
It's very meta.
I was for sure there.
I like it.
There's like a Michelle Gondry church
If
play.
Jesse was writing it, he would all the commercials would be those like late night infomercial 30-second ones where they like have the black and white reenactment of like, trying to open a bottle and then like, and it falls all over.
Tupperware thing that I burned my house down on accident.
Yeah.
But see if you can go with her here. I could not begin to tell you what the play was about. All I remember is sitting in the pew next to my mom and during several quote commercials for the fake sponsor. the First National Bank of Abstinence.
Oh boy.
Complete with the jingle. Save it till you've got a ring. Ding, ding.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. You know, when they thought of that,
Mommy,
like,
what is
this
it?
is going to kill.
Save it. Save it. You know what it is.
Well,
We can't talk about it.
Allow someone who
Everybody
is
in
from a
Virginia
state
knows
full
what
of
it is, but-
Cameron, allow someone who is from a state full of lovers,
Right.
Who literally wrote the book "Lovers Do" explain it. Chandler
Well,
Paul's
Timmy.
recording while Cameron and I have a very uncomfortable and very graphic talk.
Yeah, two fathers having a conversation.
Chapter 1. You know, Cameron, it's funny. I have a copy of Lovers Do right here. Allow me to read from chapter 2.
This feels bad.
All right. Well, there's a lot more feedback where that came from. If you want to go tell us your evangelistic horror stories. Okay, it's time for this week's
editorial question of the week. Hey.
Well, this episode, for some reason, we've talked a lot about kind of like where we're from. We've heard a lot about the origin story of Jesse's region, his town, his
Very
area,
creepy.
his commonwealth.
Very creepy.
So weird.
Like Australia was founded by felons. They just sent all the creepy people to Virginia back in the day. And just said, you guys live out there. You guys live out there.
Creepies to Virginia.
Weirdos.
Lovers and drug addicts. And
I think that was West Virginia, by the way, because I think I listened to the same story. But
it was not. It was in a 2,000 person town in the southwest part of Virginia near the Tennessee and North Carolina border. It was an NPR story that I heard this morning.
Oh, I want to listen.
And okay, anyway, it got us thinking about where we're from. We all, unless you live in a very cool city, we all have a weird thing about our hometown, our town, our area where we live in. We want to know yours. We're not saying like sell us on it. We're not saying like, hey, make us want to come hang out.
We're
like,
not promising we're going to come.
What's the thing?
We're not saying we aren't. We're not saying we aren't.
Like, what's the thing?
I might ship. It's not too far away.
I can. I might go.
What's the thing? That's what we want to know. What's the thing in your area that is maybe not so usual? Hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and you can post your longer stories on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. It should be good. We have a lot of gators here in Florida, but that's not weird. No, culturally, there's things. I don't think you realize how redneck Florida is. Well, maybe you do. Florida man.
Yeah, people do.
Yeah,
people
we're
know.
most famous for.
If you feel like you've kept that a secret, y'all done a terrible job at it because people know.
I don't think.
Andy, do you get
the secret's out?
Yeah, secret's out. People know who lives in Florida.
Andy, do you get? I think you do because I think we get tagged in a lot of the same tweets. People who are like, "I'm in Nashville for 2 days. What should I go do?" I probably get 3 of those. I probably get 3 of those a day now.
Yeah.
From
People want to know.
into-
I have a list built that I just email.
I just keep a list saved on my notes that I
I
can
don't
drop off
want
to.
your, here's the new cool speakeasy.
I mean, I don't usually talk like
That's not what we're talking about.
But
That's not what we're talking about.
Sound like
I want to know about the butter churning culture in your region because, you know, you have the big annual butter festival.
What's the place with like the light up cowboy where he's kind of like winging his arm out, blinking?
where is that?
That's
Las
where.
Vegas.
Just send me there. Just send me. I want to know where that is. Just send me there.
That's Las
Just send me
Vegas. And Tulsa at the state fairgrounds right there in the heart of the city, there's this massive like 60-foot oil driller guy from the 50s or something.
What?
It's this huge.
But the thing is, he doesn't do it. It's like you can drive out there and you're like, okay, and then just drive away.
That's kind of cool, though.
He doesn't do anything. He needs to have some sort of animatronic element. At least that, you know.
Like he winks every once in a while.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Something to wait for. You know?
Does this
like, how hard
predate
would it be to
animatronic?
saw
Every
a
hour.
winking eyeball? Yeah.
Every hour on the hour, his eye winks.
You just wait all day. You're like, you know, it was kind of worth it. That was a pretty good wink. I was thinking it was going to be more of a blink, but that was a prolonged wink. It was.
he should be in.
really
He should be in Virginia. That's a lover thing to do.
You know,
Yes.
that's true. You know,
He
it
just
makes me
creeped me
think
out.
of
He creeped me out.
Waiting for Guffman, the Christopher Guest movie, Waiting for Guffman, and the play that they do about Blaine, Missouri. You know,
Oh, I love
It's
that
the
movie.
The stools. They're known for their stools. They had the stool boom. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. I want to know what's the equivalent of the stool boom for your region. What are you guys known for that maybe flies under the radar? Okay. Well, many thanks to our guest, Christon Gray, for joining us. His new album, Clear the Air, is out today. Go check it out. And thanks to the show's sponsor for making the episode possible. Remember, you can go to SamaritanMinistries.org/relevant to find out more about their healthcare sharing program of Christians helping Christians with healthcare needs. It's awesome. Oh, Jesse, on our Friday show, we always prompt people. It's in my notes. I always prompt people. Hey, if you like the show, head over to iTunes, rate it 5 stars, and leave a comment. We want to know what you think. If you don't like the show, keep it to yourself. But Jesse, you've been looking at the iTunes reviews, and a couple caught your eye. What are people saying? What's the scuttlebutt? What's the buzz?
Yeah, there's one in particular I want to read that's kind of, foreshadowing. It makes me very uneasy because we opened the show with me talking about how nervous I am about space camp and the scuba experience. And this person who, here's the thing. They titled the review "The Best Podcast." And so I was like, oh, the best podcast, I'll read it. But I was like, wait, this is only a 4-star review. How can we be the best and only be a 4-star review? And so I read the review, and this is why it's concerning to me. And this is why I think my fear of scuba experience is real. It says, this is my favorite podcast. I listen to every episode. They are perfect. They are a perfect balance between hilarious and deepful thought. 1 star has
Sounds
been
good so far.
Well, here's where this is like the foreshadowing that concerns me. 1 star has been deducted for the anxiety I am constantly made to feel over Jesse's well-being. You hear that, Cameron? Do you hear that? I swear that is all. I did not write that.
That cost us a star because people think you're going to hurt yourself.
That cost us a star because you're pressuring me into going to a scuba tank with wannabe astronauts. It's not safe.
Well monitored situation
so
with they're not going to endanger astronauts. I mean, she's concerned for your well-being because of your own choices, not because of space camp.
Jesse, that's so
you
funny.
cost us a
I know
star.
what she's referring to.
And let me assure this person,
review.
those concerns are well-founded.
Yeah, serious. Here's what I don't want to admit. I'm the one who wrote that review. I wrote that. Because
listen, here's the thing. Like, if you have a message that you would like to convey to Cameron about my general well-being in life, this is the place to leave it. Leave it on the review, and maybe I will read it to him, and so that he can say that my fears are not unfounded. Go to iTunes and leave us a review. I appreciate a 5-star. I would like them all to be 5 stars, but this is like a red flag warning. The 4-star got my attention, so well done. It was well played there.
That's funny. Well, if you like the show, go leave a review at iTunes. We really appreciate it. And helps other people find the podcast. Well, on that note, we'll wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
Chandler Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Tyler Huckabee.
And I'm Annie F. Downs.
We will see you on Tuesday. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
Gotta be honest with you guys, I'm not even entirely sure how postage works.
Relevant Podcast Network.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care. Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.